point blank, I'm recording this only because I'm out here working on the WOV Racing. Yeah, that's right, guy. The REDCAT Racing WOV. I'm just stirring that pot, dude. I'm trying to figure out why exactly the chassis cracked. So there's this little pedestal right here, right? This thing pops out. I had taken a strip of foam and stuck it on there. What I've noticed is where the motor, you know, contacts, there's a significant, like it's almost as if it's not foam anymore. So that means that there obviously is flex, even though this chassis is ultra rigid. And I'm calling it like a fiberglass chassis, just because of the way it fractured. It's almost like it's fiberglass impregnated plastic is kind of what it sounds like. It even has a specific sound. I wanted to see, after all the abuse that I put these WOV Racing vehicles through, being that this is still the base truck, meaning here you are, you know, I said REDCAT, you know, WOV Racing copy, right? It's not exact. And the exo cage guy, he point blank showed, and it is what it is. The thing is that the base as a platform, so everything that you could kind of keep the same is actually really good. Like, what I want to see, or I want to hear from, is I want to hear from those people that have both variants. Like if you've got the REDCAT Racing variant, or if you've got the WOV Racing variant. This isn't saying that the WOV Racing vehicle was junk. There were some things that I didn't like. WOV Racing point blank did do a slap cell from the buggy to the truck. It's almost as if they made the buggy and then just was like, yeah, guy, we'll slap on a truck body and throw some monster tires on it and we'll call it a day. And that's where that company failed and went wrong. Now, I've still beaten the absolute crap out of that thing. And once I found a tire and wheel combination that worked, and a little bit tighter fitting body, which is the Arrma Big Rock body, dude. The Arrma Big Rock body fits the WOV Racing truck exceptionally well. It's almost as if that's the tighter fitting body that they should go with. So if you've got the Blitzkrieg and you're looking for a body, get the Arrma Big Rock, not the 6S, the 3S, the 3S Big Rock. Get the blue body, or get the black, and just don't put Arrma on it. Or put Arrma on it and piss them off. But what I wanted to show was how absolutely clean this rear differential was. Like, I mean, dude, no debris got in there. What I will say, though, is my center diff is leaking. So that was one of the things I had taken a community post, and I posted a picture kind of just showing. Now, looking inside of here, I just wanted to see what was going on as far as, this is obviously where the gear set is, just because of, you know, looking at how black it is, you can tell that's where the gears are. But I wanted to just show you how clean the inside of the rear differential is. And I'm fairly confident that the front is going to be the same exact way. But I did want to see what was going on with this chassis. Maybe try and figure out if there was a way to help prevent this from happening. The reason why this thing broke was because I took it to the skate park and I stinking launched it. And I think because of the... Dude, I got nothing to say, man. This truck is actually really good. It really is. So that's telling me that the REDCAT hopefully is going to be that much better, because they did something different with the suspension. Is that enough to have fixed? Is that enough to have fixed the issue? Which really isn't an issue, dude. I totally abused both of these vehicles. This is the other thing that broke too, was my arm, but it just pulled out. So I'm gonna try a zip tie. Drill a hole in the arm, seeing that the arm's already broken. Drill a hole in the arm, and then just zip tie it, or maybe I should just super glue. I don't know, man. Just do something to kind of keep that end together so I can keep running this thing. The other positive is I'm hoping, while the REDCAT chassis is shorter, the WOV Racing is a slightly longer wheelbase, I believe. I'm gonna find that out today. I'm gonna keep this thing rolling as I pull the center diff apart just to see what's going on. As far as the platform goes, dude, how can you really ask for that much more given the price range that these things are coming in at? WOV Racing was $329. They gave you a free battery pack. REDCAT is $299, so $300. So between $300 and $330. So my guess is there's a little bit of fluffification going on with pricing. I don't know if with WOV Racing, if you can get with Buddy RC, I don't know if you can get the battery pack anymore. I think that was a limited time deal. Yeah, it's on 6S too, so that shows you that power system wise, at least the front and rear differentials can totally take the abuse. So yeah, guy, a little bit of debris kind of got in here. What I'm gonna do is basically just kind of clean this up, and like I said, I'm just gonna separate the differential here, crack this open and see what's going on as far as why it's leaking. So, but yeah, dude, it looks like the center diff, it looks like this thing hasn't even been used, but obviously it's stinking ass. I've been abusing it, so yeah, guy. Sometimes the best thing to do is to kind of vacuum out a situation like this, and there's a little bit of water in there, but that's because these things have been kind of left outside and it rained, so I'm not surprised. But Cow RC's got this little vacuum thing, and I think the thing is pretty slick. This is the GT Power blower that I got. This thing is pretty mint, dude. I've been using this. It's got multiple settings on the bottom, so if you press and hold the power, right, so if you press and hold this and then press and hold this when it turns on, right, now what happens is this becomes, instead of a momentary switch, it becomes an on and off switch. See? Then you can see on the bottom, I think it's got 3 lights. Click it once, decreases the power. Click it again, decreases the power. Then you click it again, decreases the power. Then you're back to full spray. So then if you shut it off, right, press and hold it. Then if you just press and hold it and turn it on, it becomes a momentary switch. And then the same thing, you can decrease the power. See? I really like this thing. Cow RC came up with their own variant. I don't have it out here right now, but the Cow RC one is also a vacuum, and it's more powerful, and I think it works mint, dude. So I'm gonna just kind of just blow this garbage out right now. Wicked windy out. Make sure this is on full power and then just blow this out. Obviously it doesn't get everything, because when there's grease in there, it's not going to get everything. But yeah, no debris got inside of this rear differential. So that's telling you something right there. REDCAT really might be onto something by throwing their name on this platform. I'm sure they did their homework. I really am. I'm sure they did their homework, man. And I should say not no debris, but nothing got past at least these bearings that I can see. And certain amounts of this is just typical maintenance that you should do. And now that I've had this apart a few times between the two trucks, just checking stuff, you get used to what it takes to take something apart. So basically, all the screws that hold all of this together, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 screws lock down the whole back shock tower, the wing mount, the center diff, like everything is kind of like all one chunk of material, which is obviously right there. But there's still some debris in there, and that's where an air compressor in a higher velocity can kind of help. Sure I get any kind of sand that was in there out of there. If you haven't got the slot to allow debris to get out, provided this is going to be a dry area, but dude, there was nothing in there except for a little bit right here, so it's not too bad, and it is kind of getting in through here. So yeah, dude, nothing's getting in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull this off. That is connected. And I had lubricated that. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I did. And it doesn't seem like it caused any issues. But I am going to clean off these little areas here. I'm going to use one of these hide wipes. These things work. And cleaning stuff. You'd be even good with cleaning your hands too. So we'll set this off to the side. Bring this in. And we've got to pull some screws apart here to get this center diff apart, to see what's going on, to see why it's bleeding so much. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this front cover will, I mean, when you look at this, doesn't that kind of look familiar? So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and kind of pull that apart. The other thing that I think REDCAT may have done, not sure if they changed this, but this little thing is a pain in the ass because it takes the tiniest little set screw that holds it on, and REDCAT, or WOV Racing, I should say WOV Racing did not provide, they didn't provide that driver. Pop this out, see what's going on here. Yeah, obviously it's leaking. Holy crap. At least I think. That's a lot. You know what? That may have been me. I gotta clean this. That may have been from me doing that. I wonder if that's me. And not the diff leaking. So doesn't that kind of look familiar? REDCAT? So I think I may have been wrong. I was thinking the differential was leaking. It's actually not. I think it's the lubrication that I had put on this. I'm really starting to think that's what it is. Like I said, I had put lubrication inside these sleeves. That may have been me, dude. This is pretty dang clean. Differential still feels pretty damn good too. I'm gonna leave this alone. So I'm gonna spray this down. Look at inside of this case. Nothing inside of there. I guess that's what's good about having such a rigid plastic, is that stuff stays together. So it's a give and take, like I always say, man. Dude, I think that was my problem. Dude, it was my problem. Center diff was not leaking at all. My head was leaking. Holy crap. Yeah, dude. It was me. I think it's grease. I think it's grease from when I was putting this thing together. So what I'm going to do now, I did want to see if I could pop this off. I don't know why this bearing, that bearing is really wedged on there. Not that that needs to come off, but I feel like I want to have it come off. Scratch that. I'm leaving this alone. I really don't think that leaked. The other thing I had come across with this thing is the glue that they had used on this was exceptionally... Yeah, check the gear is actually still good, dude. What the hell? The only thing that I think I appreciate about the MJX is the fact that MJX put dual fans on. This company, WOV Racing, didn't, and REDCAT Racing also didn't. So I just kind of just blow this out. Just shocked, man. Shocked and happy at the same time. Let's put this back together here. That goes that way. And this nice little gear cover goes like this. Boy, why was there a crunch? Ah, tiny little rock pebble. Make sure there's no... Dude, everything's mint. Damn. Pretty stinking pleased. Yeah, that's better. One little tiny pebble. What's cool about this GT Power and the other thing there from Cow RC is that basically just flow away your work surface, and then you've got basically a clean surface to continue working. So, all right. So I wanted to just pop this pin out. This is how this is all kept together. Oops. Oh, watch out. So that just came out. This is a no way situation. So pretty much I caught this in time. This bearing, both seals blew out, so there is zero lubrication in this, right? So I've got inside of here, look at how old this thing is right here. I'll have to figure out where I got these bearings from, but this is a fresh, brand new, I think. I may have taken one out of bearings, or maybe not. Dude, this is fresh and brand new. Look at this. And the best part, this is the exact same, if not a better quality than this. So it's almost as if this was like supposed to happen. Wow, that's pretty slick. So I'll try and see if I can do my homework and put a link in the description so you can go ahead and get this bearing set for yourself, because you're obviously gonna stinking need them, because this one blew out. Now this one is still together, so what do I do? It feels wicked dry. So yeah, this actually does feel dry. So it still works. So do you bother popping the seal on this? Damn, dude. You know, I should pop the seal anyway to see if this has even got any lubrication in it. So let's do that. So this is a brand new bearing, never touched, and I'm gonna see if this has lubrication in it, and it looks like it does. I know you probably can't see it because of the way GoPro works, but I can see stuff in there. Okay. See what I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use this. We're gonna crack this one open. This is the factory original. I'm gonna crack this one open. I know this is dry, and I'm gonna put some of the this in it. Cow RC Moose Lick, ultra thin oil with PTFE. It's made full bearings. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in here. I got one side of that seal off. It's pretty black in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this side of the seal off. And I'm only doing this for, oh, dude, I don't know, man. That seal's kind of falling apart. That ain't good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this one out. This one doesn't seem to want to come out. So usually you can grab them. There we go. I think I got it. Nope. I don't. There we go. Alright, I did get it. That's pretty nasty. So, you'd have to put this in a cleaner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and spray some of this in there. Just like that. And then put it on a paper towel to kind of flush it out. Yeah, of course it's upside down. So here we go. Here's the bearing. All lubricated up now. I'm going to go ahead and install it in this idler gear. And then on the opposite side, I'm going to go ahead and install the brand new one that I unknowingly had. Yeah, guy. This is a video about replacing your idler gear bearings. Holy crap. So I'm going to take it one more step that you probably don't need to do. But this is something that I usually do. So in putting this back together, I am going to go ahead and just put a little squirt of this in there. And that way it kind of stays sandwiched in there. Then I'm going to slide the shaft, hopefully like that. And the thought is that will kind of keep that, not wet, but it'll keep it kind of something. I also noticed that there is a shoulder on that. Just noticing it right now. So when putting this back together, there is a shoulder, and it looks like it's on this side. So when I slide this back in there, like this, when I put this gear in here, there's a little shoulder piece right there. Yep, and that's how that's supposed to be. So now this idler gear should be happy. Because it was on the verge of being very unhappy soon. So idler gear, stinking maintenance, and look at that. So you can see debris gets in there and basically sandblasts the inside of there. So gear wise, let's see. So yeah, gear wise, looks like you can get maybe another tooth on there, and that's a D pinion too. Definitely does look like you can get in there with another tooth. So might have to give that a shot at some point, but it's absolutely not necessary right now. Another thing to pay attention to with this little collar or sleeve, when you call it, don't lose the spring that's in here. There's a spring in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just run the hide wipe through just to kind of clean it up, and then reinstall this spring. I might put just a tiny drop of lubricant in there. I don't know why, I just feel like sometimes stuff is needed. So while I've got this thing out here, and I got this nasty crack in the chassis here, I'm just gonna go ahead and basically just fill this whole thing with glue. I'm gonna push down on it so I can kind of open up that gap, fill this whole thing with glue, come in on this side, and maybe do the same thing because of the way it fractured. So it kind of flat fractured here, just a little bit. So just put a little bit of glue in there and see how this works out. Changed my mind a little bit. Instead of coming at it from the inside, I am going to come at it from the outside, because it seems as though the majority of this is exposed that way. So, and I'm going to use this right here, this Instacure from Bob Smith Industries. You can get this stuff from Cow RC as well, if you don't go directly through Bob Smith. So it's going to take a little bit. If I use the lighter glue, it would probably seep into the crack, but this is the way, like I said, this is the way I'm going with this. So I'm basically just going to do like I do with tires. Boy, I wonder if I should. Anyhow, you kind of second guess things sometimes. Wind is whipping today. Because what I want to do is I want that glue to kind of go into that crack. So, go like that. Go like this. And I'm going to do what you're not supposed to do. And I do not recommend doing this, which is using your hand or your finger to maneuver the glue into place. So like that. And then push the crack closed. Alright. I'm going to push the crack closed by flexing the chassis and pushing down on the crack with a hammer. Jeez. So right there. There we go. Look at that. So that should have worked. I use a nail on this just to kind of keep this closed. It's already curing. I can feel it on my fingers. A little bit of openness right there. There we go. It's closed now. So, you see how that works, man? Looking on the inside, you can see the glue kind of did its thing. So, I think that's going to work, at least for now. Like I said, I was trying to figure out exactly what was causing this to crack. And this is a little pedestal that you can remove. See? It's a little pedestal. And the foam that I had stuck here, essentially, I'm wondering if that's helping facilitate braking. So what would be smart to do is maybe 3D print a little thing here. So I've got this. I can see which way the motor is. So the motor can is more on this side, but it would slide. So maybe if I made or 3D printed something that would kind of cup that backside. Do you know what I'm saying? Like just something out of like the PETGE, whatever the heck that stuff is. Not TPU, the other stuff. PTGE, I think that's what it's called. It's the stuff that I make the GPS encapsulators out of. So this is the special one that I made. This is the brand new one. Dude, this thing's a tank. This thing is designed just slightly different. And what's cool about it is that some of the features that I technically couldn't put into this one are put into this one. So this had original design. And when you design stuff in CAD, you do little things and then you realize, because of the smallness, when you're looking at it on the screen, the piece that you're making kind of doesn't always come out like how you expect. But this one incorporated some design elements that I wasn't able to put into the little one. This thing is stinking awesome, dude. If you think you're badass enough and need to protect your analyzer, as if you don't think this one can protect it, this is the beast you want. The only thing I would recommend is buying 2 Velcro straps, because eventually these Velcro straps do wear out. This is realistically the only wear point. So L to the W has been religiously abusing his GPS encapsulator. And he says he loves the thing too, so yeah, guy. This is the one you want if you're badass enough. So what I did is I took some of this Instacure, it's a medium glue for tires, whatever, from Cow RC, Bob Smith stuff, and I put it inside of the crack. I did it a couple of times just to kind of fill it in, and hopefully that's going to work out. There is a small little something, I think, right there too, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think that's going to hold together. The other thing that I had seen was one of the shocks was leaking a good amount. It's probably loose somehow on the bottom, I guess. Maybe the seal is loose, you know, sometimes that can get loose, so I'm going to check that out. Front kind of seems like the same thing right here. This one seems like it's bleeding a little bit. The other one is dry, and this one is also dry. So I'm going to just address the ones that appear to be leaking. Chassis itself, I did the same exact thing. On this side, used this glue, and then when the fissure was open, I used this glue. So this is gap filling, medium, and this is just Instacure medium, so medium thin. So hopefully that's going to work out. Wind has been whipping, dude. Tipping over my glues, throwing my trash everywhere. I'm going to put the gear set back together. So just making sure when you put this back together that you slide the pin this way, because when you put this back on the motor mount, is it motor mount / motor mount? So you want to make sure that it's going this way, that way, it won't slide out. So also the clue is the fact that it has the 2 holes on the top and 1 hole in the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and get these secured down now. Very interesting. It's threaded top and bottom. That's different. So I'm just going to give this just a tweak. But yeah, there was a bunch of glue on the bottom here. So blow torched it off, and we're looking good. See, I'll just show you what I'm doing. Nice and free now. There we go. So pretty happy with that. Now we need the smaller sleeve. Install that right there, like that. The gear support, this piece, because this goes like that. See, the cool thing is that you can't, the way WOV has this, you cannot put it in backwards. So they were really smart on helping out somebody that's not familiar with how to do stuff. I mean, I've done it before with an Arrma. You mess up and put the gear going in the wrong way. Because it's just literally like, just have the gear up against. So I'm going to give it, back it off just a bit. Kind of want to look at that idler. So that's a little too loose. See that? So like that. That is maybe a little too tight. Tweak. And the same thing on the bottom. Nice little tweak. That is too tight. Way too tight. Alright, I gotta figure this out. I gotta back this off a touch. It's too tight. It's almost as if I should set the mesh with this and the idler first. So what I wanted to do was looking in there. That might be it right there. Still good. This is a crank. Still good. Okay. There we go. Cranked. Sufficiently cranked. There we go. Yeah, that should be happier. Yeah, I think it's good. Still Seems like it's a little too much for what I like, but it's there. See, I want to get it just a little bit tighter. I ended up leaving it. I did tighten it, but then I didn't like how it was feeling. So we're gonna go with this and see if this works. It feels odd. Like we've got... This is also, I think, the way this thing sounds too, so we're just gonna go with that. Keyed into there. Drop that down into place. Drive shaft. Slide the drive shaft into place. Forward with the spring. And then rotate. And it's into place. Now we can reinstall this. Can't remember if this was forward or back. It does have the top piece, so I can flip the top piece whichever way, but I just can't remember if it was this way. Seems like that's more centralized, so I'm gonna go ahead and go that way. Good enough. Jesus. So now one of the most important things is installing some of this udder butter in there to keep these gears happy. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do that. And that should be good enough. Yep, that's going to be mint. Put this cover back into place, just like that. Got a bunch of screws to go ahead and install now. We have 4 long, and these are all the same length. So we've got one there, 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 and there, and all the rest of them are short except for, I think, these ones. 4 short. 1, 2, 3, 4, and gotta figure out where that one goes. Seems like this is long and that's long, so this other short screw goes here. So you can see this one's wet. So I'm going to pop this off. Give it a quick little cleanup. So sometimes what happens is the bottom section is not torqued enough. I'm not sure if that's the case here. We are going to crack this thing open just to see, but I wanted to see if I could get a little tighten, or maybe even see if I can get a loosen on the bottom here. That seems pretty tight, man. You can see it's already bleeding. So this feels like it's pretty dang empty. So that means I am going to have to take this shock apart and see what's going on here, because that really shouldn't be the case, man. So I'm going to put this collar down the bottom just for now so I can get a better grip. See if I can crack this bottom open here. Man, these shocks are small. Okay. So I am not able to crack that bottom open. So that's gonna be an interesting thing here. How am I going to crack that open? If I put this on it, it's probably going to be too aggressive. We'll see if this will work. Nah, I think it's just cracking open the top. Yeah, I'm just cracking open the top. Alright, so if I tighten this ring around the shock, can I now? Nope. Nope, just opening up the top. Dang. Okay. So does that mean complete disassembly? Well, let's look and see how much fluid we've lost. Probably all of it. Or pretty close. Not all of it. Definitely not all of it. But a good amount. So now that this is off, I wonder if I can grab it. Spin this collar up. Get it off without getting contaminants inside the shock here. Bring it to the top and let's see. See the grit right there? That you don't want to get inside. That right there. Carefully lift this off. Okay, looks like we're all right. So now what I want to do is I really want to grab. I want to be able to grab these threads nice and tight and spin that bottom. It's like I can't. Feels like I should be able to spin that bottom. So let's see. I can't get my fingers around that damn thing. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can do this off camera. Literally just a couple seconds. So what I was able to do is wrap it this way and just have the pliers tight enough on the bottom, and I was able to break it free. So I want to get this top cap placed back on there, so we're going to just throw that in there for now. I just want to make sure that these threads are clean. But that bottom was wicked tight, so that's saying that the seals probably are junk. So this is actually looking alright, so go ahead and put this back on. I'll make sure I can still pull this off. Yeah, there we go. So I just wanted to get a look at the seal on the bottom here. So I am going to flip this upside down. So let's get this top cap back on. There's probably nothing that I can do about this. I'm going to flip it upside down, but I want to put some shock oil in there. But I wanted to first do is see about what weight it was. Usually what I do is I do this. Look at all those bubbles. Wow. Okay. So what's that, like 40, 45, somewhere around there? So let's grab 45. And it's not, I don't think, a 45. Show you what I'm talking about. Almost seem thicker. So usually what I'll do is try to get the same, like, viscosity kind of deal. Like the same drip back. And you know what? I think it is like between, I think it might be like a 50. So let's grab the 50 and try that. See if that's what it is. So here's a 50. Wow, 50 is kind of low. Oh, because I've got more 45, guess what? That's what I'm going with. It's probably 60. Yeah, it kind of seems like it's almost like a 60. You know what? We're gonna go with 60. Just go like that. Put the cap back on. Okay, so I'm going to top this off here, and I wanted to get a look at this. This damn thing recording this whole time. Alright. So what I am noticing is you could pull this out like a cartridge, and it almost seems as though there just isn't enough compression, maybe, like almost like it would need maybe an additional space or something. So I'm just gonna leave it the way it is because I don't feel like totally disassembling this thing. And I'm going to tighten it back down the way it was, nice and tight. So I'm going to go like this and basically just go opposing. And that should tighten it. So we'll have to keep an eye on this just to see if this one continues to leak. Feels okay. This is something I don't like. Look at that. Wow. That's bottomed out inside. Look how much shaft is still showing. It's almost like the shock body should have been longer. Look at that. That seems like a flaw, dude. Alright, well, it's got oil in it now. Hopefully REDCAT solved the WOV Racing little issues. It's funny, WOV did do some pretty cool stuff. So we'll see if that's gonna fix that. Definitely has some damn good tension, tell you that. So just giving this a little spin to see how it acts. Zero play. Do the same thing on this side. Give it a little spin. Bent wheel. Zero play. What I need to do is flex the suspension all the way down. And I want to watch how this is getting keyed. And I'm going to go this way, like that. Bring it up. Attach this arm into there. Get it keyed into the slot. Bring it up. And we'll get this one into position. That. Then we need the wing mount thing here, because this gets bolted in with these screws through the wing mount into the shock towers with the shocks. So this is a little difficult to do here. This table's not big enough, dude. Come on, dude. Dude, I'm camera's right in the way, dude. I feel like I'm gonna lose it, dude. I feel like I'm gonna lose it. Here we go. Fucking camera, dude. Oh my god, no wonder I put this goddamn camera to the way. Here, you'll see the screw coming through right there. Good enough. Okay. I was gonna lose my mind. Alright, so eventually we'll give that shock tension. That one's fine. Bleeding a little bit. But yeah. Chassis is better. We'll get the chassis brace on. When I did my chassis brace, wherever the heck it is, so what I had done is I had put stick tape. Because I wanted the chassis brace to kind of not move, or at least have a little bit of resistance for flex, and it seemed to have worked. It actually did seem to work. So we're gonna go ahead and leave it like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put that middle brace on. That's got the little wire holder on, and I still have to order up one of these, but I might do something different. So we'll see. So that's basically it, man. Just kind of taking this thing apart, doing a little bit of, I guess, necessary maintenance to this WOV Racing. So essentially what you saw me do applies to the REDCAT variant. I can't wait to see what REDCAT did, because dude, this thing is WOV everywhere. They were not joking, man. Even the little thing here, dude, WOV was everywhere. Shock towers, the arms, the lower arms, like it was all over the place. I don't even know. Oh, that's right, these aren't these are Arrma wheels. But even the little brace for the wing says WOV on it, dude. The printing on the bottom, WOV Racing, right there. So the question is, between the REDCAT's variant, which is the slightest amount shorter on the chassis, which is the better vehicle? Once we maybe suspension swap? Thinking. Got some things rolling through my head, dude. Suspension swapping the longer, slightly longer chassis. We'll see. We'll see if that's what it is. I don't have the thing in hand right now, but it is. It's gonna be here shortly. Should be here like within a couple of hours. So, anyways, it's RC Guy Garage. I'm out here in the back deck. It's another overcast day. Just doing some maintenance work on this WOV Racing RC. This thing is a pretty good RC. What I want to do now is I do want to put a different tire combination on this, something that is that buggy style. I want something that's massive, but 17mm hex, similar to the size of this, but I'd like a little bit more cushion. This is great, set up as a buggy, and we'll see if this glue holds up. So what I noticed was the inside. So if you go inside here, basically where this cracked was where this material stops. So basically the material inside here stops like right here. So where this bend is, the material stops, and that's where the allowance is for the shock to fit up into place. Now granted, this thing was abused, so I'm not gonna fault the truck. I'm gonna fault myself, guy. You fault the user. What are you doing?